It doesn't matter where you are now. What matters is what you're trying to build. Welcome to McBain Moments. All right, guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Please take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Also, please consider going over to patreon.com/JulianMcBain if you want to support my work. If you do, you'll get copies of The Modern Entropian and Personal Finance for Gamers for becoming a member. Recently, in fact, this past week, I got 2 comments from a troll who said that, they assumed what my salary was, less than 6 figures, which is correct, and that I was talking from a place of not knowing what I was talking about. So I wanted to chat for a few minutes about this. And unfortunately, YouTube did not publish the comments publicly, and I can't figure out how to make them public because I want my criticisms to be public. And there have been a few. The ones that violate YouTube's terms and conditions, of course, I can't allow to be on the post because that's just going to get me in trouble. And there have been a few where it was critical because of the way I was coming off, and I just wanted to take a few minutes and address these. First off, yes, some days I go on a wild tear and I'm a bit of a hard ass. Why am I like that? Because I have been in some really shitty conditions in my life. I have not hidden this. I have not hidden where I came from. I have not hidden where I am. Yes, I use the phrase the manor as branding. I live in a raised ranch in Vermont. Okay? And if anyone has ever seen homes in Vermont, they can pretty much picture the type of place that I live in. I make less than $50,000 a year. It's just the truth. Why do I talk and act the way I do? I talk the way I do because I have come from much harder circumstances. Growing up, I remember times when my mother was crying, trying to figure out what bill that we could pay that month, struggling to stay off of welfare. I have been on welfare. I have been in state housing. I have had to accept food stamps. I have been on benefits programs. I literally moved 2,000 miles to change my circumstance to get off of those programs. This is not an exaggeration. This is why I moved to North Dakota from Vermont for 7 years. I crawled my way back into the middle class. I can't even say back, well, my family crawled its way to the middle class and I jumped my way back down and then crawled my way back. And I am crawling my way up the socioeconomic food chain. And it's a slow climb. I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger. Here's why I say what I say. It is much harder to crawl from the working poor to the middle class than it is to go from lower middle class to upper middle class. This is no joke. There are very distinct hurdles to go from working poor to middle class, to lower middle class. You have to climb over a lot of social issues. You have to climb over a lot of economic issues. It's expensive being poor. So when I say get your shit together, when I say build something for yourself, when I say have a purpose, because when you're so poor you can't afford to fend for yourself and you need to rely on programs, your only purpose is survival. If you don't have a goal, because the only goal you can think of is, will I make the rent at the end of the month? That is that's a distinct mental block that prevents you from being successful. And I mean that literally. And I know this because I've been there. So, for those who drag me, and I know there was someone that I really liked, who I inadvertently offended with the way I came off during my episode of Julian's Rant. Here's where it comes into focus. If you're already there, you're not the person I'm speaking to. For those of you who are still climbing, these words are not meant to hammer you down. They're meant to be a hand reaching out, telling you that it can be done. You can climb up. And yes, I've hit another threshold, another roadblock, another socioeconomic barrier that I am currently figuring out how to, well, frankly, take a pickaxe to. But the difference is, having come from a much harder circumstance, I know I can break through that barrier no matter how long it takes or how much effort it takes. And my goal is to have anyone who watches this channel know that they can do it too. You can absolutely better your circumstance. All you have to do is look at where you are, decide you don't like it, come up with a purpose for yourself other than survival. And I know that's hard. It is very hard. Because the way that our society builds us, especially for those of us on the lower rungs of the socioeconomic ladder, the thing we focus on is, how do I make my rent? How do I pay my bills? I got to raise my kids. It makes us lose focus on a goal. We can't come up with a goal. We're too focused on the this. But without that goal, without that dream, we're not even going to bother trying to climb it. That's what this is about. This is a dream. The manor is a dream. And the dream is that I am going to figure out how to climb out of the circumstance I was born to a much better one, and I'm going to haul as many people as I can up with me. And I'm going to do so in a way that doesn't hurt anyone else. Now, I may offend people. That's not intentional, but it's going to happen. And I'm going to upset people, because there are some people who think that if they don't want to go through the effort of doing it, so they say, well, if I'm not going to do it, if I can't do it, then you shouldn't be allowed to either. But in the end, they're not the people I care about. What I care about are the people who actually want to better themselves and better their circumstances. And that's why I do this. And I'm going to keep doing it until I'm successful. And hopefully, what I say inspires you to be successful, whatever that success looks like to you. And I don't care what it looks like to you. As long as I as long as I help inspire you to get where it is you want to be, then I've served my purpose. This has been a McBain moment.